Hi guys, this is Icons Animal Haven and I'm Ramadan, a dedicated young farmer. Today we are talking about brooding and brooder house. We are talking about these two topics, brooding and brooder house. So before we dive in, what is brooding? A new farmer will say, what is brooding? What at all is brooding? What is brooder house? So brooding is the care of chicks, newly hatched chicks, from day old to 2 weeks. That's brooding. Whilst brooder house is the structure or heated environment which brooding takes place. Understand? So you have a house which is warm enough for a chick to stay and survive there. That's your brooder house. But brooding is the process. Wow. It's a process where you are taking care of the chick from day old to a certain age, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on the breed of the chick you are raising. So the next part, what's the purpose of brooding? What's the purpose? First, brooding prevents the animal from being too cold. It protects the animal from predators, from rain. You understand? So wind, rain, and predators. The brooder house protects the chick from those. The brooder house also prevents stress and reduces mortality, reduces death. So instead of the chick walking around, roaming about and exposes itself to stress and mortality, any form of mortality, it's in the brooder house safe. Without your authorization, the chicks is not coming out. That gives it a secure space, makes the mortality rate less. 3, brooding allows proper feeding and watering. So let's say you're a farmer, you have other animals around. When the chicks are outside and you give them feed or water, the other animals around, the older ones which are much stronger than the chicks, will finish the feed and the water before the chicks get access to it. So the brooding house gives them proper feeding and watering. Then the last one, it helps you take care of the chick from day old to 2 weeks. That's, they get access to warmth which the parents stock are not available to give. So you have to provide us warmth. And without a gas brooder, an electric heat bulb, or a charcoal, you cannot do that. And they have to be in a confined area so that the heat stays and warm that place up. When the heat is exposed, the warmth will not be at one place because wind is blowing, wind is taking the heat away. So it gives them warmth from day old till 2 weeks. That's broilers. Now the arrangement of the brooder house. We have, I'm going to state 3 points here. When you don't calculate the space for the chicks, at 7 days, each chicks need 1 feet by 0.5 feet. So that's 0.5 feet squared approximately for each chick. So you calculate that for 50 chicks or 100 chicks or 500 chicks or 1,000 chicks according to what you are doing. But that's for 7 weeks. 7 days, sorry. 7 days, that's the space they need. 2, it's can expose them to chilling. At first, what is chilling? Chilling is where chicks or other animals are exposed to too much cold due to many factors like low temperature in brooder house and so on. It can lead to chilling, which can eventually cause mortality, thereby reducing your profit, causing many other things that can reduce or distract your poultry business. Now let's talk about the heat and signs that will show that your chicks are too cold, too hot, or they are okay with the heat. So first, in the brooder house, they need heat for the warmth because their parent stock is supposed to give them warmth. Normally, these local fowls, you see them after hatching. You see that at night, the chicks will cluster in the parents' wings. That's heat that they are generating for the younger ones so that they survive because they can't withstand the natural cold around us. So in the brooder house, you need heat. You need heat. So that's where the heat bulbs come in. I showed you in my last video. I think I have it here. This is the heat bulb. I told you have two types. This is the white one. They have the red one. The red one is inside there. But this is the white one. You can use this. You can use a gas brooder or you can use charcoal. You can use charcoal if you don't have this or your place there is no steady electricity. If there's no steady electricity, you have two options actually. You can use a gas brooder. That one uses gas, but the cost will be high because it's gas you are using to operate it. Or you can use charcoal. Charcoal. You can use charcoal. You get your charcoal, your coal pot, set up your fire, then put it in the brooder house so that it warms that place up. Now, two, how to know whether your chicks are too cold, too hot, or they are okay with the heat. Let's start with too cold. When the chicks are too cold, all of them will cluster, they will huddle under the heat. So if the heat bulb is here, you see that all the chicks have come to stand here because the heat is not enough. So they need direct contact to the bulb producing the heat. So they'll come and cluster under the heat bulb. Two, when they are too hot. When they are too hot, you see them moving away from the heat source. So if the heat is in the middle, you see that they are at the corners of the brooding house. If they are too hot, the second sign is that you see them panting. You see they are lying down, they open their mouth, then they are breathing. They are panting. The weather is too hot. The brooding house is too hot. So you have to bring down the heat, otherwise it can kill them. Three, when the chicks are okay with the heat, they'll be moving evenly. They will not cluster at one place, neither will they be far from the heat. They'll just be walking evenly in the brooder house. So now let's move to the feed you give them. Actually, me, I prefer two brands of feed, and that's what I'll request for you to use. I'm in Accra, Ghana. These are the feed we have here. There are many other feed, but the one I'll recommend to you is Kujis or Sankofa. Even though Kujis is expensive, Kujis is very expensive. Sankofa is expensive, but not as expensive compared to Kujis. So you can buy starter feed, broiler starter. There are two types of starter. They have chick mash and broiler starter. chick mash is for layers. If you buy chick mash for your broilers, they are not going to put on any weight. Like you have invested your money into nothing. That's practically what you have done, because chick mash is for layers. And broiler starter, emphasis on the broiler starter, those ones are for broilers. But Kujis has this feed, Gaudus. That one is like a pre-starter, but that one is 25 kg and it's very expensive. It's about 350 something, almost 400 cedis. That's 25 kg. Normally that price is for 50 kg, but Gaudus Kujis, that's like a pre-starter and it's pelletized, so it helps you save small feed. Actually, that's the one I use. I didn't have any intention of using that feed, but when I got there, the boiler starter was finished, so I had no other option than to get the Gaudus. So I got the Gaudus and came to use it, but I never regretted. So let's move on. You can buy Kuji's starter feed, broiler starter, or Sankofa broiler starter, or Kuji's broiler starter. That one you give it to them from day 1 to day 14. Day 1 to day 14. In the entire broiler season, there are 6 weeks, and the 6 weeks is divided into three different feed for each 2 weeks. You understand? So 2 weeks, first 2 weeks starter, second 2 weeks grower, and the last 2 weeks is finisher. But I did not use grower. So for 4 weeks straight, I was using broiler starter. You understand? Broiler starter contains more protein. So in the third and fourth weeks, it gives them advantage over the grower. That's why I used broiler starter in the second and in the third and fourth week. But it's your choice. You can decide to go for broiler grower or broiler starter. The grower is cheaper than the starter, but the starter will give you a +1 than the grower. That's why I chose the broiler starter. Now let's talk about biosecurity. Biosecurity is one major thing most farmers joke with, but biosecurity can wipe out your farm within a few days. Don't joke with diseases. Your farm is not a museum. Don't make people come in and go out. You might not know if they've been to other farms which have been infected by a particular disease. Your farm is not a museum. It's fine to have days which you allow people come to your farm to come and visit, to come and learn, but it shouldn't be always. The best advice is for you not to do it at all, but you can have a day, maybe a day in 2 weeks, that somebody can come and visit your farm, because you are protecting your investment. The person might have been to another farm, or maybe his own house. There's a disease outbreak in his house, his local fowls. Local fowls are more resistant, so you might not even know. He can carry that infection to your farm and destroy everything you set. So do not allow people to walk in and walk out your farm at any time. 2, don't joke with disinfection. Before your chicks arrive, you have to disinfect your brooder house. Even if it's a new brooder house, you just constructed it, you have to disinfect it. And it shouldn't be after disinfection, then you bring the chicks inside. No. There's a time frame in which after disinfection you cannot bring your chicks in. You get it? Yes. So that's for biosecurity. Brooding is not just about feeding and watering. Brooding is about care, observation, and discipline. Without these three, you can never do brooding. Why do most farmers run away from brooding? Discipline, care, and observation. But if you're able to master these three and you brooding in general, the poultry business, you are halfway through. Tomorrow I'll be dropping another video. Follow my social media handles: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more content on Icons Animal Haven. See you next time. Until then, bye bye.